I'm resident of Colin for YouTube Joel Saints. That's my buddy Patrick McCray. We're here to review the movie Enemy at the Gates, starring Joseph Fiennes. Bob Hoskins, Ed Harris, Rachel Weisz, and Jude Law is in this bad boy. This is a really fun war movie, sniper battle. You watched this for the first time. What did you think, Patrick?
I really liked it. And I consider myself to be an excellent source on this sort of thing because I don't like war movies.
Yeah.
And so if it wins me over, that's saying a lot. I thought it had a lot of, I thought it was a good plot, had a lot of heart, had great characters.
Yes.
And a lot of the characters end up exactly the way you think they're going to end up. Yeah. Like the kid.
Yeah.
You know that nothing good's going to happen for that kid. And it had an ending that would be way too sappy and way too Hollywood if it weren't all true.
Yeah.
And that's what was amazing. I was very surprised. I mean, it has a top flight cast. Good God, you're not going to go wrong with a cast like that. And for someone who I guess is German English, they could not have found a more Russian looking actress than Rachel Weisz.
Yeah.
Good Lord. So, and I'm not a big Jude Law fan. I liked him in this. They actually made him kind of rugged.
Yeah.
Next they'll try and do it with Roger Moore. I thought the film, it was a good movie about propaganda.
Yeah.
And the power of propaganda, and how it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I thought Hoskins was, not that I have a lot of basis comparison, I thought Hoskins was great as Khrushchev, and it gave me a new way to look at Khrushchev.
Yeah.
Overall, I was extremely impressed. When did this movie come out?
Give me 1 second. I don't know if the dates on. Oh, I'll have to look it up. I know it came out in the 2000s. Right?
Yeah.
Or it came out when I was in school too.
Ed Harris never ages. I know that. So that's not a decent gauge.
That's true. 2001. Yeah.
Wow, that long ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I was still in school when this movie came out. I saw it in theaters. I saw this movie in theaters.
Wow, 2001. Unbelievable.
I remember when I first saw the trailer, I'm like, I want to go see it because I like watching history movies. So I went to go see it, and it was really good in theaters. I was sitting in a detention talking about it with the teacher who was doing detention. He's like, "Yeah, that is a really good movie."
What'd you do to get detention?
Shouldn't mouth off to the principal, Patrick.
You did?
Yes, I did.
What'd you say?
I was not having a good day. That's all I'll say. And I was not. It was well after I saw the movie. I wasn't having a good day, and the principal, all he did was tell me to get to class, and I was in one of those moods. I'm like, you know what? Leave me the hell alone. And he's like, my office. And I shouldn't have said it. As soon as I said it, I apologized. I said, I'm sorry. He said, nope, detention. I was like, okay.
That's the sort of thing in education you have to do. There are moments where the kid doesn't want it. The kids learn their lesson immediately. But if you let it slide, it's going to create this landslide among the bad kids. So you get the good kids on it, and the bad kids get really scared. You think, oh my God, they did that to the good kid? What are they going to do to me?
The next day, I apologized to him again. He said, you already apologized to me. I said, yeah, but I said, I was having a bad day. So, but yeah.
Well, but I did. And there's that difference. There's that difference between the kid who apologizes a bunch because he thinks it'll get him out of trouble, and there's somebody like you who's just genuinely that sorry. He hasn't said I'm sorry enough.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to whatever.
It's all right. But yeah, this is a really good movie. It's Jude Enemy at the Gates. Jude Law is really good as the real life sniper. I don't know if you ever watched it or not. I seen it. I saw it in theaters in 2001. I saw that again today.
In 2001?
Yeah, I saw this in theaters when I was in school.
I may have watched that with you.
You may have.
Julie, it's a good movie.
Different movies. I didn't pay attention to half of them. I was too busy paying attention to you.
I know. Ed Harris really steals this movie, and that's something to say.
Yeah.
I mean, he is so cold in this movie, but yet so good. But I do
And it's a
love
very relaxed performance. It is a good lesson in supreme confidence. Because his character is so confident, he can be relaxed. You know, I direct kids, and sometimes they're playing characters of great power, and they rant and rave, and so on and so forth. And I say, you know, the thing about really powerful people, they don't have to raise their voice.
Yeah.
You know, they just get it done.
They just have that natural presence about them. They don't have to talk loud. I mean, there's other movies with Ed Harris where he does talk loud, and it surprises you that he does it. But he felt it was necessary to do that in those movies. But with this, he doesn't speak loud at all because he speaks softly and he carries a big stick or a big gun in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and that guy apparently was just like the Nazis' best sniper.
Yes. Yeah.
He was really good. He asked to go to Stalingrad and, you know, take care of the problem. You know, and I'm not praising Nazis. I'm just praising a guy who was really good at his job.
Yeah. And it's really interesting how they have this real life chess battle and how they portrayed it on the screen. It was so well done. I give credit to the storytelling, and you know the boy's gonna end. When I saw the boy get hung in theaters, I was just like
hanged.
Yeah, sorry, hanged. Sorry. But I was just like, because I knew something was gonna happen to him, because it's like he keeps going back and forth. And it's like the moment he cried when he thought Vercelli was dead, I thought was a telltale sign to the major who, like, because Ed Harris is like, he's not, he goes, it's just propaganda. Don't cry. Yeah. He's not dead. Because I'm not the one who killed him. And I thought that line by Ed Harris was just so
chilling.
Yeah, it chilled you to. It's as cold as the moment when Henry Fonda said, "People scare better when they're dying." To me, and that's saying something, because I never thought nobody could be as cold as Fonda as a villain. But no, Ed Harris proves me wrong.
Yeah,
and he does a really good job of being this Nazi sniper. And I just think the cinematography was really well done too. I mean, the cast doesn't. I mean, Joseph Fiennes. You're right. Propaganda is used for good and bad, and it sort of mimics the real life Russian propaganda too, in a lot of ways. How
sure, and they were masters of propaganda.
Oh yeah, it really gets into that too, of how well they were good at it, and how well the Germans were at it too.
Joel, you're particularly sensitive, I feel like, to the visual life of movies, and the thing that I was amazed by was the intricacy and precision of the staging of the war sequences.
Yep.
That you would go out of a building that, you know, where they were sort of sheltered, and then you would be into the battles were taking place on multiple levels, and it felt like a huge diorama come to life. It was really interesting.
Yeah, they do a really good job of when they're in the buildings and they're bombing the buildings and everything's falling down around them, and they're on the layers where some, because Vercelli tells the one guy, don't run, and he runs and he gets shot by Ed Harris's character. And it's like, this is what, there are those movies that portray war is hell really well, and this is another one of those.
Oh boy, when you see all the wounded at the end being, carried off, and wow.
I'll tell you, even though it's a bit of a sappy moment, the love scene between the wounded, between Rachel Weisz's character and Jude Law's character, and you see all the wounded, and there are wounded
at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a beautiful moment, and because it was real, you didn't feel like you were being Hollywooded.
No.
By it, yeah.
No. And that's the thing too. For all the cast in this, it's a very Hollywood-esque cast, but it doesn't feel too Hollywoody either.
It doesn't.
And I do think it's because of the raw performance. Everybody in this movie gives a raw performance.
Mm.
Every actor, Bob Hoskins, who's a pro, you got Jude Law, Joseph Fiennes, they're all giving that raw performance. And I do think
And
it's
the kid who
because,
plays Sasha,
yeah, absolutely.
man, hell of a performance on that guy.
And I do think it's because they probably did their own research too. I want to probably give credit where credit's due, that they probably all did their own research into the actual history of it, and probably put themselves more into their characters than what any of us will ever really know. And they do a really good job of telling you the jealousy of Joseph Fiennes' character after he finds out about the girl and Jude Law's character. Really well done, and how he takes the propaganda and tries to use it against them a bit. Again, you look at the German propaganda too, and how they say, "Oh, he's dead," and the one person who calls bullshit is who? Is Ed Harris? Is the sniper?
Yeah.
He's like, no, he's not dead. I didn't kill him. I do like how he does, and he does try to tell his commanding officer, I respectfully disagree that Vercelli's dead. And I'm like, no, he's dead. He's dead. You can go home. Really? But yeah, they do it's an amazing, you're right, the war sequences of the buildings collapsing and that sniper duel when they're coming out of the pipes, and sound is a real key thing in this movie too. From when they're crawling through the pipes and Ed Harris's character hears Vercelli, Jude Law's character, crawling through, and he repositions to another point and he's waiting for him. That's another unsung thing about this movie is the sound, because everything for a sniper is about sight and sound.
I'm thinking the end of the movie where when Ed Harris is dispatched, had a very samurai feel to it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it really did. It had very Kurosawa, and like, you got me. I'm gonna take off my hat. I'm taking off my hat to you.
I do, because I do think with the respect angle, I do think Ed Harris's character respected Vercelli.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And it was one of those things where you almost wish the circumstances had been different and the two of them could have sat down and talked over drinks and just to see them compare notes.
Because Ed Harris is like, when he's talking to the boy, Sasha, he's like, what's he like? What's his history? He's learning everything about it, not just by picking up the gossip or the Gestapo or whatever, the propaganda. He's not just reading the propaganda. He's trying to find out facts about the man. Like, hey, who taught him how to shoot? What was his grandfather? Where was his father and mother? That little detail in that movie makes it all the more interesting of not just Ed Harris's character, but Vercelli's character, Jude Law's character. It gives you that this man is learning everything about his enemy, because what's the rule? Know thy enemy. And he really is trying to know his enemy before he executes him. He's trying to know how he thinks, how he is, who he was before he became this sharpshooter, and how he became it. It's one of those, you're not playing checkers, you're playing chess, and you want to win. You really do, because winning means you live, and the other one doesn't. And this movie is a constant. This is why I love this movie. It's such a constant reminder of, yes, there are big battles, but there are those individual battles between two men going on within the big battles that is taking place within Stalingrad and other places. Like you said, you see the bombs, you see the layers of the buildings. And I do think the layers of the buildings were really well done within this movie, because you had to destroy them too.
Yeah.
What's some of your favorite sequences in this movie?
Oh, I mean, we've named a lot of them. The scenes with Rachel Weisz really work. The moments where they're outsmarting each other with the glass and all of that are great.
Oh yeah.
And those chess moments are really good, but it handles the emotional moments so well, and the moments of legitimate storytelling
Yeah.
between humans. I think any of the stuff with Sasha and Ed Harris
Yeah.
were just wonderfully tense and curious. And the kid's a good liar.
Yeah.
And but Ed Harris is still gonna get wise to him after a while. It's like, he shows up every time I tell you where I'm gonna be.
Yeah. Yeah.
He shows up. You're so sad he's dead, and all these other things. Like,
And I like how he's talking to Sasha before he kills him. He goes, "I respect you. I respect you took a side." He goes,
yeah.
I'm not mad." But it's like he's gonna get it, and he gets. Oh God.
Here's a weird question. This is just extrapolation, based on the fact that Harris's character does respect the kid.
Yeah.
Do you think he shoots the kid and then just hangs him out there for propaganda's sake?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he does too. I think the kid probably had a pretty painless exit.
Yeah, I'll put it to you this way. I think before he puts the noose around the neck, he's already dead. He's already dead.
Yeah.
He's dead before that.
Because, he has to kill the kid because the kid's just an information leak.
Yep.
And he can't let the kid live because of that. But really, the kid's death is about getting to, Vasily. Yeah. And so, making the kid suffer inordinately there's not an act of respect. And Harris's character doesn't seem to be a cruel character. Just think about a sniper is very precise.
Yeah.
So, one shot, take him out.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. It's not about snipers usually aren't about making somebody suffer. They're about quick kills and getting as quick as possible. Look at how Vasily kills the first soldiers he kills in battle, where he takes the rifle, where the guy gives him his rifle and he's shooting them, and it's so quick. It's like boom, 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 and that's why the one guy, Joseph Fiennes' character, he's like, when Bob Hoskins' character is yelling at everybody, what do we do? What do we do? And he goes, we give them hope. And Vasili's the man.
That was really good.
Yeah, Bob, the interaction between Hoskins and
Joseph
Fiennes is so good.
Yeah,
it really is. Because the first time you meet Hoskins' character, he hands the guy a gun. He goes, here. He goes, I got to go talk to the big boss. He goes, you deal with whatever. And you hear the gunshot, and it's like business as usual. Business as usual. It's like, my God. Oh God, yeah. I've always given this movie a 10. What do you give it, Patrick?
I give it a 10. Easy. I'm really glad you suggested it.
Yeah, it's really a great film. It was a great watch in theaters. I mean, because when I was sitting in theaters, like the sound was so key, because it's like around, you hear when I first heard them going through the pipes and stuff and the buildings falling, it's like, man, this is such a good movie.
I have a suggestion for the next one.
Sure.
That is something completely different.
Sure.
It's a Peter Sellers movie called The Party.
Okay.
Have you ever seen it?
No, never saw it.
It's directed by Blake Edwards. It's almost in some places a silent comedy. And it's politically incorrect in certain circles. That's an interesting thing to talk about whether or not it should be. Oh. But I think it's one Alan could get in on, and I think it's a movie you'll like a lot. It's one of Sellers' best films. There's a lot where both nothing is going on and everything is going on, and it's a lot about trying to pass among. It's about being a well-meaning person who is disaster prone, who is trying to get by without causing any waves, with incredibly rich people who are looking at him always at the wrong time.
Where can I find this?
Take a look and see. It's a 1960s movie, so it's probably on Internet Archive or Tubi or something. But it's just called The Party, and it stars a woman who shot her skiing instructor, Claudine Lange. She was like shot her. I think she was like Andy Williams' girlfriend or something, and shot her skiing instructor. But not during the movie, obviously. It's got Gavin MacLeod, from the Love Boat with a hilarious toupee. There's a John Wayne type character that Peter Seller's character adores. Peter Sellers plays a guy from India, Randevi Bakshi. And it's a silly, fun movie. You will learn to love the phrase "birdie num num." Birdie num num. Trust me.
Yeah.
Did you find it?
Hold on. I'm trying to make sure this is it.
Blake Edwards was the director.
Yeah.
It's very 1967, 1968.
Yeah.
You find it?
My computer's being silly.
You might want to try just Blake Edwards Party.
Yeah. Let's see.
Viewers are spellbound.
Something.
They're on the back edge of their seats.
Oh my goodness. Sorry.
No, now we got both of us going out. Jeez.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's see. Come on now. Blake. Not Andrew Blake. Blake Edwards.
I found it.
You did? What's it on?
Yeah. YouTube.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. YouTube. Let's see. It's yeah,
I got it.
It's a great movie. It's a lot of fun.
So tomorrow night, the party.
Let's do the party. Yeah, it's as far from this movie as you can get, but it's still a good movie.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Listen, this is probably going to be hilarious. You know, we need to do Caddyshack too. That's another one.
Well, let's make that after the party.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I love that movie. I had the movie memorized.
I think Alan's off for a while because he did message us on Messenger. So
okay.
But we'll do the party tomorrow night. So link to Patrick McCray's Dark Shadows Daybook about. It's going to be in the description box. And even though Alan can't join us, College Port After Dark After Dark.
The
Dark is going to be in the description box. Link to his YouTube channel. Go check him out. He's a good dude. Good night, Patrick.
Good night, Jewel. Take care.